Hey everyone, it is Wednesday, August 3rd, and I'm here just in front of my hotel in Amsterdam. And the time is 11:31 a.m. and the temperature right now is around 23 degrees Celsius. And there is the Hotel Mercier. But for this one, I'm going to be doing something I've never done before, and that's riding a bike through Amsterdam. And there is the bike I have rented for the day. I've already mounted my phone to it. So I'm not really sure of the route. I put something into Google Maps. I'm going to try to follow it. I think I'm going to head south down to Vondelpark and maybe pass the Gogh Musuem. And there's another interesting museum that I think you can ride your bike right underneath. So I'm going to try to go through that and then maybe ride my way back up to Central. All right, and away we go. I do have Google Maps up on my handlebars as I am heading in a direction I have yet to explore in this city. So after a few blocks, I'll be making a left at a canal. And they had two kinds of bikes you could choose. One where you have to pedal brake, so you have to pedal backwards to stop, and that bike's a bit cheaper. And this one has the hand brakes. I opted for the hand brakes. And this is definitely a lot more upright than I'm used to riding. The seat is quite high, the handlebars are high, and they kind of bend in a very relaxed position. So according to Google, I can turn left here, and there's an arrow with a bicycle on it. I'm not sure what canal this is. I think for the most part, bikes have the right of way. There will be marked pedestrian crossings where I think you have to yield. And I think I've seen some yield signs. They look like 3 triangles pointed down in a row. Where I'm heading is kind of the equivalent of Central Park in Amsterdam. All right, so we're going to make a right here. See, there's that yield sign on the ground. And this is a single speed bike, so it takes a bit of effort to get going, but I think Amsterdam is mostly flat. And isn't this nice? A protected bike lane away from traffic. And it looks like I'll be making a left here. maybe I want to be a bit more on the left. So you're allowed to turn left here. I was all the way over left. I just decided to move right. To give someone room to turn left. This is all new to me. So apparently that means go. That's a bit counterintuitive, unless everyone's just jumping the gun on that light. Maybe it's just assumed you go unless you have the red. Well, that doesn't make sense because it was a red left turn. Anyways. We'll let this speed demon pass on the left. Maybe I'll pick it up. So the initial trip I mapped out is about 7.6 kilometers. And we've got a bicycle sign saying we can go through, or a traffic sign. It's still early, and I just woke up about 30 minutes ago. And last night, I asked the guy at the hotel how I get a bike, and he said, just come down in the morning. We'll give you a bike. So I went down in the morning, and they were like, we don't have any bikes. But they directed me to a bike shop just around the corner, and that's where I got this. It was 15 euros for 3 hours, or 21 euros for 24 hours. So even though I just wanted to take it out for a ride this morning, it made more sense just to take it for the day. So I'll have it till tomorrow morning, and I can always extend past there. Yellow. Yellow means stop if you can. Red. Oh, it actually looks like I want to turn right here. Tiptoe my way back onto the bike path. Omleading. My pronunciation is absolutely terrible. I've read that biking through Amsterdam for people that aren't used to riding in big cities can be a bit frustrating. I'm not finding that to be the case, but of course things are pretty calm around here. And this bell is pretty weak. And apparently I want to turn left here. So I'm turning left. It's supposed to come over here, okay? Well, that's not going to work. Looks like the road is all dug up. Maybe I'll see what these people around me do. I see someone cycling off that way.
And is it the whole day or there's just
No,
a
it's from the place on the 7.
Kind of seems like half the city is under construction right now. And I want to make a right here, apparently. I just signaled, looked for a tram coming behind me, which there was, but I had enough room. That's one thing I'm guilty of not always doing in Toronto, is signaling my turns. But I've observed a lot of people doing that. And I think even if you're just slowing down to stop, it's a good idea to signal and let people know what you're doing. This looks kind of like a roundabout. And I think we are in Vondelpark already. Amsterdam is, of course, known as the city of bikes. There's more bikes here than people. Something like 1,500 bikes a year get fished out of the canals. But I guess disappointingly, but not surprisingly, bike theft is rather rampant. And I asked if these rental bikes get stolen, and the guy said yes. There is a key in it right now, and if you don't have the key in it, the tires will be locked. So if you try to claim that your bike is stolen, you better be returning the key. Otherwise, they'll know you just left it unattended and someone was able to hop on it and go for a ride. It looks like there's a cafe there, so I'm going to be making a left through here. And it looks like a right and then a left. It's going to take me around this pond. I think e-bikes here are limited to 25 kilometers an hour or 250 watts. Well, I'll take a look at this pond. These handbrakes don't work too well. You have to squeeze them rather hard. It's also interesting how these bikes all seem to have chain guards on them. And I'm being told to turn right here. Now we're going to make a left. I'm just going to trust Google Maps that I'm allowed to ride this way. Although I've seen plenty of people riding their bikes the wrong way on streets. Now we're going to make another left. And the density in the city is fantastic. It is just street after street of 4- and 5-story buildings. And to me, that's one of the big appeals of a city like Montreal. They not only have an extensive and much better bike network than Toronto, they've also got a lot more medium density housing. All right, so I'm going right and then left here. And these tracks look like if you had skinny tires on your bike, they would grab, and that would lead to a bad outcome. I think it's Copenhagen that has sort of rubber bushings or a rubber lining in their tram tracks. All right, here we've got an unprotected bike lane with parking on the right. So in Toronto, we would call this riding in the door zone. This is sort of what would pass in Toronto as biking infrastructure. Painted bike lane with parking unprotected. And the Van Gogh Museum is just up here on the right. I see people crossing. I'm assuming this is safe to go. It appears to be so. Is this it? There's the Stedelijk Museum on the right. I think this is the Van Gogh Museum right here. There that is. There's no one behind me. I'm not sure if I'll have time to go there. All those pedestrians were wary of me there. Bus parking museum. I think I can figure out what that is for. I think this is kind of like the museum district, even though there's museums scattered out or scattered all around. There's the traditional Dutch food of hot dogs. Okay, we'll turn left here. And this bike path is going to take us right through the museum, which is pretty unique. And now we're gonna turn right here. It's a pretty fantastic looking museum. I mentioned on my first video, I'm certainly not pretending to have any sort of knowledge about Amsterdam. Or be a tour guide of any sort. I'm just kind of exploring and figuring it out. There's no sign there for cyclists, but I figured the pedestrian sign indicated crossing. This girl also started to go through. I think there's a tip for you if you're not quite sure what to do when you're riding your bike here in Amsterdam. Just don't be the first one at the line. That's someone who looks like they know what they're doing. At least take the lead. Man, I am not awake. I think the area I ended up in last night was right around here. It's one of the main nightlife areas. That's the first time that's happened. And what's interesting to me is the fact that just riding in these protected bike lanes and not being with the traffic kind of calms you down and just slows down your pace naturally. Okay, there's no one behind me. I'm going to turn left here. Dutch pancakes. I think that's going to be my breakfast. Oh, did I push my luck on this light? Maybe. I took a tram last night for the first time. That was quite convenient. And I thought it was interesting, there was a service counter with a guy on it in the middle of the tram. Looks like there's a metro station under construction just here on the left. I'll be leaving Saturday morning, but apparently it's their big Pride Festival this weekend. And my hotel indicated that they're not renting bikes out for the weekend just due to so many street closures and large crowds out. She was pretty confident that light was going to change green. think I've used my bell just once or twice. Apparently that's not something the locals appreciate if you overuse it. Usually one ring is enough. Banks Mansion Hotel. It's also interesting, because I heard that in situations where cyclists have the right of way, if you hit a pedestrian, the pedestrian is generally at fault. You're still obligated to stop. I don't think that is legal. Certainly in Toronto, that's not legal. I can't imagine that being legal here. And a lot of the locals apparently have liability insurance. All right, so I am sticking to the left here. There's a boat out for a canal tour. I think I want to do another one of those. I saw some boats where it was really just a bar and people kind of seated in a circle around it. Looks like a good nighttime activity. This bus is encroaching on my bike lane. So I have been led to turn right through this busy alleyway here. Now we're making a left. This doesn't feel like I should be here. There's a motorcycle and some bikes. Where are you taking me, Google? Maybe the next time I do this, I'll do it without Google Maps to follow me around. See, that sign says no bicycles, but I think it meant no bicycles turning left. This is weird because I think this is just going to take me back to the major street where I was. That says no bike zone, so I don't think you can turn right here. And this is leading me to the left. I think the red light district is just behind me. This is Dom Square. Now I want to turn right here. So why the heck did Google just lead me around those side streets? Signal my turn. This is Touristville. So I'm just going to go straight up to Central. There's the bike rental shop on the right. This bike rental did come with a lock. I think they all do. And they didn't seem to mind if you were late. Some people in front of me at the bike shop were late. They just charged them for another day. There wasn't any type of outrageous late penalty. And here's where in Toronto, in a situation like this, I'd say about 80% of the people would be running this red. Let's see what the etiquette here is. Oh, there's no one behind me. That was a quick light cycle anyways. You can hop on a lot of canal tours just here on the right. The one I did yesterday, I reserved online in advance. That was 30 euros. That included alcohol and cheese, of course. All right, so what are we doing here? There's one of those tiny cars in the bike lane. It's confusing how the arrow is red and it says right. I'm assuming that means I can't go here. There we go. That's the big station on the left. The train from the airport dropped me off there. There's also a metro stop, and you can catch a tram from there. And Google has my destination as just up ahead. Look behind me, a signal, you can go wait next to this guy. He's got a dog with him. There goes a train. Well, this sign says no bicycles from here on. He's going for it, but I think you're just supposed to hop off and walk it from there. You know what? I think this might be a good spot to finish. I'll probably record another bike ride. Maybe I'll do one tomorrow morning. "38 minutes this video has been. Well, I hope you enjoyed my first ever bike ride in Amsterdam, and I guess Europe for that matter. There's a look at the Centraal Station. And just over there is where I started my live stream from yesterday. Let me know your thoughts and comments down below. If you wish to support the channel, there's links to Patreon and YouTube channel membership in the description. And I have an Instagram account at Johnny Strides. And there is a look at the beast. All right, thank you for watching, and I will catch you on the next one.